Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, so if you're learning English, or really any language, you've probably felt this, right? You're in a conversation, trying to keep up, and your brain just hits a wall. You find yourself mentally translating everything, like word for word from your native language before you can even think about responding.
Yeah, that feeling is,
Yeah, right.
it's really common.
And that friction, that constant back and forth conversion in your head, it's just the biggest killer of fluency.
It really
It
is.
slows you right down, uses up so much mental energy, and honestly, it just feels awkward,
Yeah.
unnatural.
Yeah.
So that's what we're diving into today. The sources we looked at have basically laid out a fantastic blueprint. It's a set of 10 really practical techniques. We're calling them brain switch routines. And our mission here is simple. Show you how to kind of short-circuit that internal translation department and start making thinking in English feel more automatic.
And what's really interesting and what the sources highlight is that this isn't just about knowing more words. It's deeper than that. It's almost, well, neurological.
Neurological.
How so? Well, when you translate, you're actually doing two mental tasks, not one. Think about it. Native thought, translate, then English output.
Right. Doubling the work.
Exactly. So these routines, they're designed specifically to build, like, direct neural pathways, shortcuts.
Okay.
We're basically training your brain to connect the idea, the concept itself, straight to the English word or phrase, cutting out your native language as that middle step.
Okay, I like the sound of shortcuts.
Yeah.
Let's unpack this blueprint then, because I guess before you can change the habit, you need to actually catch yourself doing it.
Precisely. That's ground zero. And it brings us straight to routine one, awareness. It sounds simple, maybe obvious, but it's fundamental.
It's noticing.
Yeah, becoming a bit of a detective about your own thinking process. When you're speaking or listening or even reading, you have to actively pay attention to those moments you
It's
pause.
those cessation points.
You literally can't fix a problem if you don't even see it happening, right?
Makes sense.
And the sources are quite specific here. They say, don't just notice the pause. Try to pinpoint why. What's causing the friction?
Like, what am I actually translating?
Exactly. Is it that you're hunting for a specific word, a noun maybe? Or are you getting tangled up in, complex sentence structure?
Or maybe those idioms that just make zero sense if you translate them literally.
Oh, definitely. Those weird idioms, yeah. So just naming where the bottleneck is, that's the critical first move to fixing it.
Okay, so awareness first, find the roadblock, then I assume we start building the alternate route.
You got it. And that leads us nicely into routine 2. Start small, focus on chunks.
Right, because the temptation is to try and build these perfect, elaborate sentences immediately.
Which usually sends you straight back to translating because it's too much cognitive load.
Okay, so start small. What does that look like in practice?
Well, the easiest entry point is just simple actional naming, labeling stuff around you.
Literally.
Yeah, you see your coffee cup, you think, or maybe even whisper, the mug. You look out the window, the blue sky.
Out loud or just internally?
Either works. The point is forging that direct link, object, English sound, no intermediate step.
Okay, simple labeling. Got it.
And then building on that, we get to something really powerful for fluency using collocations.
Oh, yes, those word pairs or groups that just naturally go together.
Exactly. Like you say, strong coffee, not really powerful coffee. Or it's heavy rain, not usually big rain.
Okay. Why are these chunks, these collocations, so much better than just learning single words?
It's like a cognitive cheat code. They teach you structure implicitly without you having to consciously think about grammar rules. When you learn heavy rain as one single unit, one chunk of meaning, you automatically absorb the correct adjective, the natural pairing.
So you don't pause thinking, should I use big? Or strong? Or powerful?
Precisely. You just grab the whole chunk heavy rain. It bypasses that decision point, making you faster, more fluent, almost without trying.
I like that. Prefabricated structures for the brain. Okay, so we've got awareness. We're starting with mole chunks. Now what?
Now we need to kind of flood the zone, force the brain to operate in English mode more often.
Immersion time.
You read my mind. That brings us to the next cluster. Immersion and repetition, starting with routine 3. Immerse your senses.
This is about surrounding yourself with English.
Completely. It's a full-on sensory experience. The goal is to leave less mental space for your native language to creep in.
So, practical tips. What do the sources suggest?
The usual suspects, but with a twist. Watch movies, listen to podcasts, sure. But, and this is important, try to ditch the subtitles in your native language.
Ooh, that's tough for a lot of people.
It is initially. but it forces your brain to rely on the audio. If you absolutely need subtitles, use English ones. That links the sound to the written English word directly.
Okay, English audio, English text. What else?
Reading. Find books or articles that are just slightly, a little bit above your current comfort zone. That constant stretching helps expand that direct word concept link.
Right. And there's something else about active immersion. Talking to yourself.
Yes. This one's super powerful, and you can do it anywhere, anytime. Narrate your own actions.
Like a running commentary.
Kind of, yeah. If you're making breakfast, you might think or whisper, okay, I'm tracking the egg now, or I need to wash this pan. Simple stuff.
Okay. Constantly activating the English part of the brain.
Exactly. And that kind of simple, ongoing narration, it's the perfect setup for the next technique. Routine 4. Shadowing and imitation.
Shadowing. Like following someone's shadow.
Pretty much. You're chasing the sound patterns of a native speaker.
How does it work?
Find really short audio clips, maybe just 2, 3, 4 seconds of someone speaking clearly. From a movie, YouTube, whatever.
Okay, short clips.
Play the clip, pause it immediately, then try your best to repeat exactly what you heard.
Focusing on.
Not just the words, but the rhythm, the stress, the intonation, the melody of the language.
So it's less about understanding the meaning right then.
In that moment, yes. It's more about the physical act of reproducing the sounds and the flow. You're training your mouth and your ear to sync up, bypassing the need to mentally translate first.
That's fascinating. So perfect pronunciation isn't even the main goal.
Not initially. It's about absorbing the patterns. Even if your pronunciation isn't perfect, your brain is soaking up how English flows.
Pattern absorption. I like that.
Okay.
Okay, so we're aware, we're using chunks, we're immersing, we're imitating rhythm. Now, how do we really push the brain to have to use English?
Right. We need to remove the safety nets, make it harder to default back to the native language.
Okay.
And this is where we get into forcing the issue, starting with Routine 5, using monolingual tools.
Meaning English-only dictionaries.
Exactly. When you need to look up a word, you absolutely have to resist the urge to use a bilingual dictionary that just gives you the translation.
Why is that so critical?
Because every time you rely on that direct translation, you're reinforcing the very dependency we're trying to break.
You're strengthening the old pathway.
Precisely. A monolingual dictionary forces your brain to grapple with the meaning using English. Through definitions, example sentences, context. All in English.
Okay, I get the logic, but that sounds hard.
Yeah.
Especially at first. You might look up a word and then have to look up 3 words in the definition itself.
It absolutely is harder initially. There's no sugarcoating it. It can be frustrating.
So how do you manage that frustration? How do you make it work?
You supplement the text with visuals and context. This is key. Don't just think. English word, native word. Think. Think. English word, image or action or feeling. Use picture dictionaries. Look for the word in different contexts. Try to associate joyful directly with the feeling of being happy, or maybe a picture of someone laughing, not just with your language's word for happy.
So you're building a direct link between the English word and the actual concept or image.
Yes. It's about bypassing the native language filter entirely. It's uncomfortable, like I said, but it's pretty much non-negotiable if you want real fluency.
That makes a lot of sense. A true shortcut. Okay, related to that internal processing, what about Routine 6? Self-talk and mental conversations.
Yes. This is like your personal fluency gym. You can practice anytime, anywhere, inside your own head.
So more than just narrating actions.
Oh, much more. Use your inner voice to describe your commute in detail. Plan out your day's schedule in English. Reflect on how you're feeling, what you thought about a meeting, all internally in English.
Okay.
And crucially, practice imaginary conversations. If you know you need to go to the bank later, mentally rehearse what you might say, what they might ask, how you'd respond.
And does doing this out loud help too, even just whispering?
Absolutely. Saying it out loud, even softly, helps solidify those pathways. It trains your inner voice and your actual speaking muscles for real-world interactions.
Got it. Mental rehearsals. And that brings us to the environment again, doesn't it? Routine 7. Change your environment.
Yes, making the world around you constantly nudge you towards English.
Physical cues.
Exactly. Simple stuff, but it adds up. Change your phone language to English. Change your social media feeds, your apps.
So every time you pick up your phone, boom, English.
And physical labels, too. Put sticky notes on things in your house.
Yeah.
Refrigerator, light switch, microwave, remote control.
Little reminders everywhere.
Yeah. Every time you interact with those objects, you get a little passive vocabulary boost. You're basically turning your living space into a subtle English tutor.
Okay, these routines sound effective, but also challenging, especially things like monolingual dictionaries or shadowing. People are going to stumble.
They absolutely are. And that's not just expected, it's necessary. Which leads us to a really critical mindset piece. Routine 8. Accept slower speeds and mistakes.
Give yourself permission to be imperfect.
100%. You have to be okay with hesitating more at first. You have to accept that you'll search for words, that you'll sound slower than you do in your native language.
Why is accepting that so important?
Because if you're constantly beating yourself up for not being perfect, you'll just get frustrated and give up. That struggle, that hesitation, it's actually a sign that your brain is working hard, actively building those new connections. Rewiring takes effort.
So don't aim for perfection right away.
Forget perfection. Aim for communication. Aim for practice. Mistakes aren't failures. Think of them as data points.
Data points.
Yeah. A mistake is just real-time feedback, showing you exactly which part of your English still relies too heavily on translation. It highlights what needs more practice.
Okay, reframing mistakes is useful information. That's powerful.
It's crucial. The more information you get from those mistakes, the faster you'll actually pinpoint the weaknesses, and ultimately, the faster those pauses will start to disappear.
Right. Okay, so mindset is key. Now, to help build those direct concept to English links we talked about, let's circle back to imagination with routine 9, visualization and imagery.
Yes, we touched on this with the monolingual tools, linking a word to a static image, but this routine takes it further, makes it more dynamic. So when you first learn car, routine 5, maybe you link it to one picture of a car. Routine 9 is about creating mental movies.
Mental movies, like
Right.
playing scenes in your head.
Exactly. Don't just think car and see a still photo. Imagine a whole scene unfolding. Someone walking quickly across a busy street, cars driving past them, maybe honking. Feel the bustle, hear the traffic noise, maybe the wind.
So you're building a rich, multi-sensory experience around the language.
Precisely. You're narrating this dynamic, complex scene internally using English. This actively trains your brain to conceptualize the world, actions, feelings, objects directly through English, completely bypassing that native language filter.
That sounds like a much deeper level of processing.
It is. It moves beyond simple vocabulary recall into genuine conceptual fluency.
Okay, mental movies. I like that. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, which is probably the most obvious but also the hardest.
Let me guess. Routine 10. Practice daily with consistency.
Bingo. All these great ideas mean nothing without actually doing them.
Absolutely. These new neural pathways, these shortcuts, they won't stick unless you reinforce them regularly. Daily practice is key.
So accountability. How do we make it stick?
Set tiny, achievable daily goals. Seriously small. The sources suggest things like, today I will name 5 things I see on my desk in English.
That's it.
Or, I will talk to myself for just 2 minutes about my commute. Keep it manageable so you actually do it. Maybe keep a quick log or journal note down what felt hard, what worked.
Just tracking it makes you more likely to do it.
Exactly. Even if progress feels slow some days, just doing something consistently proves your brain is adapting, changing those old habits.
Okay, so we've laid out 10 distinct routines. That might feel a bit overwhelming for someone listening. How do we actually put these together? Can you give us like a sample 15 or 20-minute routine someone could realistically do?
Yeah, definitely. We can stack them quite efficiently. Let's say you carve out 20 minutes, maybe in the morning.
Okay, 20 minutes. What's first?
Start with the foundation, labeling and collocation work, maybe just 3 minutes. Label the first 5 things you properly notice, then quickly think of or say 5 common collocations like heavy traffic or make a decision.
Okay, 3 minutes done. Next.
Move to input and imitation. Read a short English paragraph, maybe from a news site or a book, for 5 minutes. Actively resist translating in your head. Just try to understand directly.
Like the urge.
Then immediately follow that with shadowing, just 3 minutes. Pick one short audio clip, maybe 5-10 seconds, and repeat it multiple times, focusing on that rhythm and intonation.
Okay, that's 11 minutes. What's next?
Shift gears to output and practice. Self-talk for about 5 minutes. Briefly reflect on yesterday, or plan your main task for today, or run through that imaginary conversation we talked about.
Mental rehearsal time.
Exactly. And then finish strong with visualization. Just 2 minutes. Create one detailed mental movie. Picture yourself ordering coffee or explaining something simple, describing the scene vividly in English in your head.
Okay, that's 18 minutes.
And then, maybe as a final quick action, implement routine 7 if you haven't already. Change one setting on your phone or an app to English. That's it.
So in about 20 minutes, you've hit awareness, chunks, input, imitation, output, visualization, and environment change.
Exactly. By stacking them like that in a focused block, you stimulate all the necessary cognitive pathways in a really short, manageable time frame.
That sounds incredibly efficient.
Yeah.
So let's wrap this up. Thinking about the whole approach, focusing on chunks, visualization, bypassing translation, why does this actually work better than maybe more traditional ways people learn?
It all comes down to building those direct, efficient pathways we talked about. Traditional methods often accidentally reinforce the translation loop. Native language translate English.
Right, you practice the translation itself.
Yeah. These routines, however, deliberately force your brain to forge a new connection. Concept meaning action straight to English.
Cutting out the middleman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By systematically phasing out your native language as that intermediary step, you don't just speed up your speaking and understanding.
You also reduce the mental effort.
Massively.
Right.
It lowers the cognitive load. It reduces that feeling of stress and panic you can get in conversations because your brain isn't trying to juggle two languages at once. You're training yourself to simply think directly in English.
And that reduction in stress, that increase in confidence, that's really the ultimate prize here, isn't it?
Absolutely. Fluency feels less like work and more like just communicating.
Well, you've given us a fantastic structure and a clear strategy.
Yeah.
For everyone listening, the challenge now is just to start. Pick one or two routines that really click for you, maybe just awareness and labeling to begin with, and start building that brain switch today.
Definitely. And maybe here's a final thought to chew on, building on that idea of creating vivid mental movies from Routine 9.
Okay.
If the ultimate goal here is to completely remove that translation filter, to link meaning directly to pure concepts, images, feelings, just imagine what new insights or maybe different ways of thinking or even new creative ideas might suddenly become accessible to you. What happens when English stops being this foreign code you're constantly converting to and instead becomes just a direct tool you use to conceptualize and structure your world? What kind of freedom might that unlock?
That's a fantastic question to ponder. Thinking in a new language might actually allow for new thoughts. Excellent point. We'll have to leave it there for this deep dive.
Thanks for the chat.
We'll catch you next time.